Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. Your support means the world, as always. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I hope you'll like what you see. I hope that you'll consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here again. Today we are talking about my favorites for the month of April. This one is actually going to be more like a true favorites video, not like the one I put up for March where I kind of kept cheating. Sorry about that. But no, today we are talking about products that genuinely just brought me a lot of joy this past month. A lot of these have been favorites for a while, but we've got some new stuff in here. As you can see, we played with color on the eyes. Again, I bet you can guess what palette I used for this look if you came here from my Instagram account, but no spoilers, please. Every time spring rolls around, I just want to put lavender and lilac and stuff all over my eyes. Really pastels in general, really color in general in the spring and summer is like just my jam. So this whole vibe we've got going on here makes me very excited. I just realized we're being very loud with our colors today. I don't know if you can see my shirt, really. It's like this super canary yellow velvet with our teal background, with our lavender eyes. Bear with me. I don't have a lot of like spring colored backdrops to work with. And in terms of outfit, this is like the most springy I think I've ever been, so that's interesting. Meanwhile, spring has actually already pretty much passed through Vegas. Like, spring lasted about 3 weeks for us, and it is officially summer now. And summer is all we will ever know for the next 4 or 5 months. So yeah, even though it is still spring, it doesn't feel like it here, but I'm still feeling the spring vibes. So we're playing with pastels again today. We are also playing with pastels in a new series over on my Instagram page. If you don't follow me there, here's my tag. Feel free to check me out. I'm doing basically fun, approachable, wearable, but colorful spring makeup looks. I've got, when will this be going up? I should have 2 up on that highlighted on my page now, and there are 2 more coming. I update it each Monday. If you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. Yeah, a couple things I want to talk about before we get into actually doing the makeup and stuff. First of all, I don't want you to feel like just because I'm talking about these products that I'm encouraging you to go out and buy them. Like, I know that makeup purchases and stuff aren't a priority for most people right now, and that is so understandable. I don't want you to feel like just because you hear me speaking really highly about a certain product that means I'm encouraging you to run out and buy it right now, like you need it right now, because that's not the case. Of course, this also isn't me trying to tell you what to do with your money. If you are financially stable enough to kind of treat yourself a little bit in the midst of the craziness, I don't think anyone's gonna fault you for that, but I think that for most people that isn't the case, and so I don't want anyone to feel like I'm encouraging them to engage in the retail therapy right now. I also hope you guys aren't like being totally inundated with emails from certain brands or companies who are taking advantage of the pandemic and or the stimulus check situation to hold massive sales right now, because gross. So yeah, just bear that in mind. This isn't me trying to tell you you need to go buy these things right now just because I love them. That's never going to be the case on this channel. Yeah, so that's one thing. For another thing, I don't know if I'm actually going to keep up with monthly favorites videos. When it comes down to it, like filming and editing and stuff, it's just not the kind of content I'm particularly passionate about creating. But I think if you saw my March favorites video, you're getting what I'm saying. Like, it's just not the kind of stuff it's just not the kind of content that I'm particularly into like filming at this point. It's funny because I'll watch other creators' favorites videos every month and be like, oh yeah, cool. But then when it comes to watching my own favorites videos, which I basically have to watch all my videos a million times while I edit them, and when it comes to favorites videos, I'm always just like, who cares? Like, who actually cares about this? But you guys have to let me know if you do care about these videos and you like my favorites videos and you want to keep watching them. Feel free to let me know, and of course I'll keep filming them for you. I'm not saying I want to outright stop. I just don't know if it's going to be a thing that I do every month, or I might change it to seasonally. I don't know yet. But there is something I wanted to talk to you guys about that I think could be really great, especially during this quarantine situation. If you've been paying attention to any of my past favorites posts, I usually include a list of songs that were like my favorite songs of the month. And I was thinking about starting a playlist, basically, that would be those favorite songs kind of compiled into a playlist that you all could listen to. And like basically, even if I don't post a favorites video, or sometimes if I don't do a favorites video, I do like a favorites post over on my Instagram. Even if I don't post something like that, I'll still update that playlist with new songs each month. And I think that we could go all the way through the year of 2020, and then when 2021 starts, hopefully, if it starts, if we get to that point, we would start a new one, and then we could just have a playlist of favorite songs for each year. I don't know, I think that'd be kind of cute. I think that's what I want to do. You guys let me know what you think about that, if you would be interested, if you give a shit about my song recommendations at all. I don't even know if you do. I don't know if anyone pays attention to that part of my favorites list. So let me know if you're into that, and then I'll know that even if I don't do like a product favorites list each month, there's something for you guys each month anyway for me to update. Is that it? Is that everything I wanted to talk about? Yes. Okay, so now if you're interested in seeing how I created this look and what were my favorite products of the month that went into creating this look, go ahead and keep on watching, and let's just get right into it. I don't really know what this Superman curl situation is about, to be honest with you. But I have very little control over it at this point, so we're all just gonna have to pretend it's not happening. Okay, let's get right into the eyes. You guys know I'm an eyes first kind of gal. The palette I'm gonna go in with for this was kind of a later discovery in the month of April, but is nonetheless one of my favorite things to ever exist. And that is the Colourpop Lilac You A Lot palette. We all already know how I feel about the quality of Colourpop eyeshadows, and this guy is no exception, which I think is really impressive considering how difficult blues and purples specifically can be to formulate. Gorgeous. I did use this on my Instagram story recently. By the time this video is up, it'll have been nearly 2 weeks prior to this point when you're watching this. It is highlighted on my Instagram page. I'll include a screen grab of that now so you know where to go find it if you want to see it. This palette I loved before I ever even had it in my hands. Like when they announced the release of this, I immediately was like, oh, I need that. But I already had the It's My Pleasure palette, which is like another all purple palette from them. This is basically just like the pastel kind of sister palette to that situation. So I was like, for the longest time I just coveted this. It sat in my wish list and I was just like, oh, I want it so bad, but like I can't justify having another all purple palette. Eventually I did just give in and decide to pick this guy up, and it has been one of my better decisions, I think, personally. So we're gonna play with him again today. I don't know exactly what kind of look I'm gonna do yet. I just know that I'm going to do my best to make it as different as I possibly can from the look I did on my Instagram stories a couple weeks back. First and foremost, I am priming my eyes with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer Mini. This was in my favorites for the month of March too, I think. I tried it out for the first time in mid-March. Oh, I don't remember for sure. But this has been my go-to eyeshadow primer pretty much every time I've done my makeup since first trying it out at some point in March. I love it. I'm actually surprised by how much I love it. So I'm gonna prime my eyes with this, and then we are going to do a very lilac-y look. So that is where we wound up. I love it so far. So now let's get into the skin. I'm just gonna go in with my Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Primer. There wasn't a specific primer this month that was a favorite. I have a few primers on hand that I'm trying to get through and that I actually really like. There's not really one that stands out above all the rest, but this one is particularly nice. Yeah, it's just super hydrating, super moisturizing, has a really nice kind of slip to it. It's not tacky. If you require more of a tacky kind of primer, sometimes I prefer a tacky one. You might not, this might not be your thing, but I actually do really like this one just because of the kind of effect it has on the skin. I'm gonna go in with my trusted NYX Dark Circle Concealer. You guys know every time I do my makeup, I use this, so nothing really new and exciting to see here. I'm taking it out here, like as close to the eyeshadow as I possibly can without actually touching it, because that would be disastrous, and we don't want that. Now for foundation, this is also nothing new. My NYX Born to Glow foundation. See if I can keep this curl back here for this part. This foundation is still amazing. It is still my favorite. That has been the case since like January. Like actually the first week of January is when I discovered it. Why? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I really just need to get in here real quick. Real quick. Real quick. Why? I give up. I'm pushing you over there. I am going in with the lightest amount I possibly can because this is a surprisingly high coverage foundation. I was not expecting that when I first tested it out. Okay, before I powder my face, I am going to do my cream contour and blushing situation. My Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter that I pretty much always use when I do my makeup did remain a favorite this month. I have gotten more into the phase where I dip into it less and less because I'm worried about running out of it. I know that when I run out of it, I'm gonna be so sad and it's gonna be really difficult to replace. So I am giving it a little bit of a break, and also because of the powder highlighter I'm gonna go in with later, there wouldn't be any point in me using it today. So just know that is still a favorite, like always. It's just not gonna be featured in this video. Okay, contour first. Fenty Matchstick in the shade Amber. There's really no other contour for me at this point, if I'm being honest. It's just such a nice contour. I love that so much. Okay, now we're gonna get into some cream blushes. There are a number of cream blush formulas that I absolutely adore and have not been able to stop picking up this month. For today's look, just to kind of stay in tone with the eyes, I'm gonna do a full monochromatic look here. I pulled out these shades from the Colourpop Blush Stix line. I have the shades Wallaby and Cool It. They're both very kind of cool toned, strong purple undertone blushes. Wallaby has a nice kind of shimmery sheen to it without being too overpowering. I'm gonna go in with Wallaby first, kind of further back in the contours of my face, like almost where I would highlight my face. That's where I'm placing Wallaby first. I'm even going to take a little bit of that on the tip of my nose. And then I'm going to blend in some of Cool It, which is more, Wallaby was very strongly more purple. This one's very mauve-y, and she's not quite, I just put her on top of Wallaby, so you're not getting the right effect. I'm sorry. This is how I blend my stuff when I apply it. Cool It is not shimmery. She's just got that dewy, very wet looking effect that I typically gravitate toward in a cream blush, and I'm putting Cool It a little further in and blending it back into the blush we just put down. I like to layer my blushes, I really do. It's just kind of a habit I got into when I realized how quickly blush tends to fade. Your blush and bronzer kind of situation is typically the first thing on your face to fade away. So I like to really layer them on, and I typically use multiple shades to create as much dimension as possible. I'm even taking that across the bridge of my nose. I put Wallaby on the tip of my nose, and I'm taking Cool It across the center of my face to kind of create an effect like it's more like a natural flush and not like I'm wearing product, if that makes sense. That's how I kind of prefer to do my blush at this point. And that has been the case since last spring, I want to say, maybe a little bit before that. I don't actually know for sure. I'm going in with my NYX Blotting Powder to set my face, focusing that in my oily T-zone, and then whatever's left over on the brush after that point will go elsewhere. I just love the effect that using that blotting powder versus a normal kind of setting powder has on the skin. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna, before we get into powder cheek products, I'm going to real quick finish off my eyes. I'm gonna smoke out this lower lash line and put on an inner corner highlight. There we go. That's it for the eyes until we pop on mascara, which I always do after I use my setting spray. So yeah. Now let's get back into the skin. For some extra contouring and a little bit of bronzing, I'm gonna go in with my usual Fenty bronzer in the shade Inda Sun. My go-to. I did kind of re-fall in love with my NYX contouring palette, some of the shades in there for bronzing and stuff, but this just, this takes the cake, man. I don't think there's any bronzer out there at this current juncture that's going to be taking its place as my favorite anytime soon. So let me just do some quick extra sculpting of my face with that. I think I am gonna pull out my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Ghost. It's so smudgy. That's my least favorite part about their packaging. I am going to pop on maybe a little bit of that blush, or am I? No, you know what? I'm actually not, but I am gonna go in with the finishing powders on my, just kind of all over my face. I like to do this step before highlight, because like, I feel like if I were to have already put my highlighter on and then go in with another brush, I'd just kind of be like, picking up highlighter and placing it on all the parts of my face where I don't necessarily want it. So that's why I do that part first. And now we're going to highlight, and this I'm so excited about. If you guys tuned in for my last video, which was basically a full face of forgotten products, I pulled out the Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I love it. I still just love it so much. I'm going to take the shade Forever Young up here as my kind of all over highlighting shade first. I know that that is already pretty intense, but I am going to also take a little bit of the lightest shade in the palette, which is called Forever Lit, and I'm going to do my Cupid's bow highlight and the very, very, like, the highest point of my cheekbones with a little bit of that. Okay, so we are highlighted very intensely, and that means now it is time to do our brows. And when I say I'm doing my brows, I mean I'm setting them with a clear gel, and that is it. And this is another product that I kind of rediscovered through doing that that last video I posted about all the products I never use anymore, and this is the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. You guys know, if you've been watching my favorites videos up until this point, you know that the NYX Bear With Me Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Brow Setter, I think that's the whole name of it, from the Bear With Me line that they did, has been my favorite clear brow gel for a long time. I just love it. But here's something that I think is going to surprise you. I like this more. In terms of formulation, I think I like the applicator on the Bear With Me one better, but I like the formulation of the Control Freak brow gel more. The other brow gel is still really great and I still use it a lot. I've just found myself gravitating toward this one more in the last month, at least since I picked it up to do that video with it. I've been very impressed with this. I have to say though, I do prefer the applicator on the Bear With Me one so much more. This one's like a big old mascara wand kind of applicator, which is not my favorite for brow gel, but since it's clear, it is what it is. At least it's not leaving like specks of brow gel all around my eyebrows on my skin or anything. Okay. Now I am going to set my face with my go-tos. I've been having fun testing out the Catrice sprays, which I also pulled out for that video that I've mentioned multiple times now. But they have yet to take the place of my current go-tos, which are a combination of the Flower Beauty Sealed the Deal Long-Lasting Setting Spray in the matte finish for the center of my face, and then the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist for the perimeters of my face. So I'm going to set my face with these now. And while my lashes are still damp from this spray, I'm going to curl the hell out of them, and then we will move on to mascara. Now for mascara, for the upper lashes, I'm going in with my what has been my favorite for months at this point, and that is the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara, but this time I have a mini of it. It came time to replace the one that I've been using for the last 3 months, maybe a little more than that, ew. I had that one on hand for a while. And I went to go and repurchase it and realized that they decided to start carrying a mini. It's like they can read my mind. You guys know, I think if you've been with me for any amount of time, the Milk Kush mascara that I always use isn't a full size. I always get a mini of that one just because with mascara, especially high-end mascaras, I don't feel like it makes sense to purchase a full size that costs you like $20 or so. Because with mascara, it's not a product that you use until you run out of it, because that would be disgusting. Mascara is something that you're supposed to kind of switch out every like 3 months. Oh, I got my mascara on my eyelid. That's a bummer. Fix that in a second. So I just don't think it makes sense to pay the high-end price point for things like mascara, because whether it's a case of you don't wear mascara a lot, you just really like a certain formula, and you know you're never going to run through it, or it's something you do actually use on a daily basis and you know you're going to run through it pretty quickly. I just think that paying a lot of money for a mascara doesn't make any sense. So when I go to purchase the Milk mascara, the Kush mascara that I like so much, I always get it in mini form. and I was going to be willing, I was going to be willing to keep paying full price for the Fenty mascara because it is my absolute favorite perfect formulation for me personally. But then I saw they started carrying a mini, and for the lower lashes I'm going to do something fun just because this is something I like to do whether I'm wearing colorful eyeshadow or I just feel like having a pop of color on the eyes somewhere, and that is using a colorful mascara on the lower lash line or all over. Today we're just going with the lower lash line. This is another thing that I did in the highlight where I used the Lilac You A Lot palette. I'm just going to go in with the NYX Worth the Hype in the color purple on my lower lashes. I just think that's really pretty and gives such a nice effect. I don't know if you can tell on camera if it just looks like regular mascara, but I quite like the extra purple on the lashes down there. Okay, I tried to clean that mascara off my lid as best I could. I'm gonna assume it's fine. If you're wondering why my lips are suddenly more hydrated looking, it's because I just used my Bite Beauty Agave Plus Pre-Makeup Lip Serum. This is awesome. I love this so much. I'm using it as sparingly as I possibly can, but I do like to use it prior to putting on a lipstick, which is going to be our next step. Usually I would have liked to apply that right after powdering my skin to really give it some more time to sink in to my lips while I'm doing the rest of my complexion, but I forgot, so it's on now. Just a light amount of it. I think it's really nice. That's an awesome product. And now for lips, and then we're done. Now for lips, I went with a color that I felt would tie in with the eyes pretty well. And this one does hold a special place in my heart. It's been in my collection for a while. So I have here another Colourpop lip. Big surprise. We all know how I feel about the Colourpop Luxe lipsticks, right? We all know by now, especially the cream, which is what this guy is, the cream formulation and the Velvet Blur formulation. They're just so beautiful. Really, across the board, the Luxe lip products from Colourpop, I can't recommend more. I think they're awesome. And this particular shade, this is the shade Scorpio Moon. This is one that they did in collaboration with Kathleen Lights for the Zodiac collection a while back, and this shade is so awesome. And I realized the reason why I love this shade so much and I'm so drawn to it is that it is as perfect a dupe for my beloved Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche lipstick in the shade Sake that I'm still so depressed about having had discontinued, and that I'm still doing my best not to use a lot because I know when I run out of it, I won't be able to replace it. This is as close a dupe for that shade as I have ever been able to find, and I didn't realize it until I pulled it out for this video today and I looked at them because I thought about pulling out Sake for this video just because I love it so much. It's always a favorite. And then I looked at them side by side and kind of went like, wait a minute. So yeah, this is a great dupe for that Bite Beauty lipstick. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is just the kind of lipstick shade I can never get enough of. I love it. And you can leave it at that. The cream Luxe lips in particular are so comfortable to wear just on their own. But I am me, so we're gonna put a gloss on over top, and if you tuned in for my last video, you already know what gloss I'm gonna pull out for this step. Yes, this is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Juicy Gloss in the shade Watermelon Pop. It is one of my favorite lip glosses to have ever existed. And I love it. I don't really know what else to say about it other than that. It's just one of the most perfect lip glosses to top off literally any lipstick shade. I love it so much. And that is that. That is a full face of my favorite products from the month of April. Yeah, I'm still just trying to figure out how I feel about this funny little curl. Oh, that's something. Okay, yeah, no. Just go away. Just go. Okay, cool. Yeah. So anyway, that completes today's video. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to hang out with me for a little bit and talk about some fun products. I hope that this video is finding you doing well. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy in the midst of all this craziness, and I wish for you and your loved ones nothing but the best. Always, if you need to talk about anything, my comment section is open to you. Yeah, that pretty much does it for me. I kind of just wanted to sit down, chill out, and put on a full face of makeup for no reason. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about today's look. I really like it. What do you guys think about the products and my mix of favorites for this month? How many of my favorites were also your favorites? How many of my favorites do you absolutely hate? I am genuinely interested, so let's start a conversation about that down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already and you would like to see my face ever again, I can't imagine that would be the case, but if it is, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Maybe consider giving this video a like. Neither are mandatory, but both are highly appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.